Heyo everybody, my name is Kayz, and today we are going to be doing a Q&A while I doodle your requests. Most of these come from DeviantArt, which if you didn't know, I do have a DeviantArt page if you want to check that out. There's a link in the description. And one question from YouTube, which was, I think, the same person from DeviantArt, but yeah. You'll see them here in the first question, which is... Hi, hope that you are well. Would you be interested in drawing my character, Stacy Roberts, please? And thank you. From Armstrongy85. And on YouTube, by Sean Armstrong, which I'm pretty sure it's the same person, they say, Hi, hope that you are well. What is your favorite book series? So, I'm going to be drawing your character here in a little speed paint while I go over your question. So, just keep in mind that my anatomy is not the best. And because I'm still learning, and I mostly draw animals, so yeah. But also, I'm going to be drawing characters that you guys request in kind of my own style, mixed with yours. It depends. Each drawing just kind of depends on how I feel like drawing, so they might not be the same style that your drawing is in. But anyway. Your question, my favorite book series is Harry Potter. I don't really read that often, and Harry Potter was the only book series that I ever finished reading, all the way through. And so my favorite, book in the Harry Potter series is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, because Sirius Black is my favorite character, and he's most prominent in this book. And my least favorite book in the series is Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. I just thought it was really boring, especially the beginning. It just felt like it really drug on, and they had a whole chapter about cleaning up a house, and it was really boring, and I don't like it. But, the series as a whole is really good. I like it. And the Order of Phoenix picks up, like, halfway through, something like that. Can't really remember exactly. I read these a long while ago, so yeah. Our next question comes from F Goes Boom in FNAF. They say, how long have you been drawing, and are there any tips I could have for drawing shoulders? Sorry if it's a dumb question, but drawing shoulders is difficult for me. Also, maybe you could do a brief sketch of some platonic fluff between the puppet from FNAF 2 and Nightmare On from FNAF 4. Have a nice day and night. Thank you, you too, F Goes Boom in FNAF. So, I'm gonna draw your characters here, but I'm really sorry about this, but I lost like half the footage of me drawing this for you, but you will see the final product at the end of the video. If you want to skip to the end of the video to see the request, that's fine by me. So for your question, I've been drawing ever since I was a little kid, and my drawings were really bad. And even now, like, looking back at drawings I did just, like, last year or a few years ago, I still think they look bad because I keep improving, and that's something that every artist does. Every artist starts from a place where they aren't as good at drawing, and then they build on that, and they improve and improve and learn and learn and learn, which is why your question is not dumb. Everybody needs to learn how to draw these things at some point. So your question about how to draw shoulders is not dumb at all. For tips, I would suggest looking online and finding pictures of people's shoulders and just sketching them out. They don't have to be detailed. Just sketch out the major parts of the shoulders and stuff and how they connect to the neck. That way you can learn the anatomy. And I would suggest also sketching, like, skeletal structure and maybe even muscles. I don't really do muscles, but if you want to, you can. It's supposed to be good. And there's a lot of resources you can find online as well that are, like, how to draw shoulders and what to do when drawing shoulders and what not to do when drawing shoulders. And a lot of the time, these resources are just short little diagrams drawn by people. They have, like, an X by a badly drawn shoulder and a check mark by a good drawn shoulder, and you can learn off of those. I learn off of those. You can find those on Google Images and like Pinterest, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I would suggest. Just like look at stuff like that, and yeah, you can learn a lot from just sketching what you see in real life. Our next question comes from Jet Project, who asks, what's the story behind the creation of Duncan Peanut the Drake, which is my mascot for my YouTube channel and DeviantArt page. And they asked if I could draw Duncan with their character Black Stain, the black liquid. So yeah, I went and did that for you. It took a bit to try to get a nice dynamic pose for Black Stain, but I think I ended up getting it good in the end. If anything, I think I messed up on drawing Duncan because I'm still learning how to draw him specifically at different poses and stuff, different angles, because I never made a reference sheet for him. So yeah, and plus this was a quick drawing, so I never really focused too hard on making him look right. So his face kind of looks stretched out a bit, but whatever. So the question of Duncan. I created Duncan when one day I was working and I was just doodling on my work, and I doodled a little peanut. And around the peanut, it just started out with the head, and then I kept like making the drawing extend down to the body and stuff, and it ended up going behind the peanut because I ran out of room. So around this peanut I drew Duncan. Now this was a really early version of Duncan. It's not what he looks like now. But I looked at that, and at the time I was still thinking about my YouTube channel. This was either before or just around the beginning of my YouTube channel, where I was thinking about my mascot and stuff. So I had that at the back of my mind, and I looked at this drawing and I thought, wow, that could make a good mascot for my YouTube channel, for marketing and such. So I decided to design him in a live stream a bit later, which you can still find on my YouTube channel. It's not really good, but I go through the whole character design process, and you can see all the different versions of Duncan that I went through on there. You can also see it in my commissions tab on the on my DeviantArt page. That's one of the examples I have on there. It's not an actual post that I made on DeviantArt though. That's, yeah. But yeah, he used to look a lot different. He looked more mature than he is now, which he looks like really cutesy and baby dragon and stuff. Because he was inspired by Pluto, so I kind of had him have similar body proportions to Pluto. He was also kind of inspired by Spyro and the donkeys from Pinocchio, like the way they're drawn and stuff like that. Just like all those different things. And yeah, that's the story of how I created Duncan Peanut the Drake. Oh yeah, and that's also why his name is Peanut, because I drew the original doodle around a peanut, and I'm like, his name's gonna be Peanut. And so yeah. And but I changed it to Duncan because alliteration is good for marketing as well, and it just sounds better for the character, like Duncan Drake rather than Peanut Drake. Duncan the Drake, and I made his nickname Peanut as a little nod to what his name used to be. So our next question comes from Gregorian Gangsta. He asks, my question is for Pip, who is my chihuahua. If you want to see videos of Pip, I will leave a playlist in the iCard up in the top right corner, if you're interested. I'll also leave the live stream that I was talking about in the iCard too, if you're interested, project, in seeing the character design live stream that I did. But so his question is, how old is Pip, and what is his favorite things to do? Sorry if this counts as 2 questions. No worries. The more questions, the better. So, Pip, he is 6 years old, and his favorite things to do is play, go for walks, and eat, like every other dog. I would say he likes to eat more and go for walks more than playing, because he gets more excited when, like, if I'm playing with him, I say, you want a treat, he'll drop whatever he's doing and go for the treat. So I say he likes eating more. And for walks, I actually am not quite sure. I know he likes it because he gets super excited to go for walks, but I'll just walk like down a road, just one road, and then he'll suddenly start whining as if he's like, I don't want to be here, why are you doing this to me? And I don't know why, it's just what he does. So our next question comes from Alpha Beta Gamma 986, and they asked if I could draw their depressed melting boy Azazel. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Sorry if I didn't. And their question is, do you prefer Sonic or Mario? And they censored out Mario's name, which I find funny. So yeah, I'll draw your character right here. And I prefer Sonic over Mario, just because his gameplay is better. In my opinion, it's faster paced. You have more control over him, I feel. Or like, at least the controls feel nicer in some way. Especially compared to his early games to Mario's early games. And I like I said, I like the faster pace, I like the slopes. Also, Sonic is an animal, and I like animal characters better than human characters, typically. As you can see by what I mostly draw on my DeviantArt page, which is dragons and dogs and stuff like that. But, yeah, that doesn't mean I don't like Mario. Mario is still a game that I really enjoy. I don't really like his side-scrollers. I find them repetitive and boring. And in the cases of the early Mario games, just hard to control. But in the 3D platformer Mario games, I really like those games. In fact, one of my favorite games is Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. So I like Mario almost just as much as Sonic, but Sonic just a little bit more. Also, Sonic's music is really good too. So our next question comes from Wine and Roses, who asks if I could draw one of their Pokemon OCs, and their question for me was, do I like pineapples on my pizza, and what is my favorite pizza? So I drew their little doo-wop character because I really liked it. It was really snazzy, and I liked their cape and stuff, and they had a really interesting design. As for your question, I do not like pineapples on pizza. I think it's gross, and whoever invented it brought great shame to my country for inventing Hawaiian pizza, I mean. Because Hawaiian pizza is actually invented by a Canadian, which is one of the bad things that Canadians have invented, unfortunately. The reason why, I don't know, I just don't like, I don't like cooked fruit and vegetables that much. I much rather them raw. I think they taste better raw than they do cooked. And unless it's like in a pie or something, even then, like, it depends on the pie. Like apple pie, I like it, but if I don't like eating the apples by itself, it has to be with the crust and stuff. And yeah, like I said, it just kind of depends. But yeah, my favorite pizza is bacon double cheeseburger pizza, except for because of religious reasons. Sorry, I messed up talking. I don't eat pig anymore, so as a result, I still eat bacon double cheeseburger. I just take off the bacon. And yeah, I really want to try to find some nice bacon replacements because I love the taste of bacon, but I can't eat it. And anyway, next question. The next question comes from Plutellian, who asks if I could draw one of their characters, which they linked pictures of and made little descriptions of right here, which you can pause and read if you want. And their question for me was what inspired me to create my characters, and they have really unique and awesome designs, so thank you so much for that. That's really nice to hear. But what inspired, oh yeah, so I drew their Tuck character because there's another YouTuber named Paint That Bell who already drew their other character named Hachi. So I wanted to draw the character that hasn't been drawn on YouTube, at least from what I've seen. And how do I get inspired to draw my characters or design them? It depends on the character. Some characters get inspired by a need for my story, like my sand dragon, that, not Asher, but the other sand dragon I made. They were created and inspired out of a need. I needed a certain character. I created a personality for that character after like thinking of concepts for storytelling in my mind, and then yeah, I just created the character. And sometimes they are inspired by things around me. Like, for example, Watos was inspired, I'm pretty sure, by Caleb Hyles's cover of Bad Guy from Wander Over Yonder that I was listening to. I was listening to that song, and I think this is what happened. I started imagining Watos as a character, singing to that song as a villain. And then I drew him and designed him, and now he's one of my characters. And he's like a crazy, kooky, mad scientist kind of personality of an electric dragon. And then there's other times where I get inspired by concepts, so I think of something that I want to represent in a story. This kind of falls hand in hand with the need thing for a story, I guess. But I'll think of a concept for a story that I want to represent, and then I'll make a character based on that concept, or stuff like that. Like, it really depends. I get inspired by a bunch of random things. So yeah. Sorry for the open-ended question. This might be a better question to delve in deeper on its own video, which I might make this week or something. I don't know. It depends. Marshmallowy15 asks if I can draw their little bear character, which is like a little cyclops bear. It's really cute looking. And its name is Bug-Eye, I think. And they asked, how would I explain to someone what an artist is? I'm not... Well, like, for a general artist, I would just say an artist is someone who takes ideas or concepts from nature or anything really and makes an abstraction of it, or makes a medium to represent what they're feeling, whatever it is that, you know, it's because art covers a wide range of things. It can be music, it could be visual art, it could be anything. It could link, you know, and it's really a open-ended question. But for specifically, like, the kind of art that I do, visual art, I would say an artist is someone, a true artist is someone who will draw what it is and are willing to learn from people's critiques and know that they can still improve. And a true artist knows that there is always room for improvement and that they can always learn something new about art. Because there's a lot of people who are like doing art, and they'll do art or something, and somebody will be like, hey, that's really nice art. But if I could give you a critique, I would say, maybe you can improve on doing this for the future in a really respectful way, and then they'll get really mad and go like, oh, you don't understand what I'm doing, I did that on purpose, quote unquote, and stuff like that, and they just refuse to learn and refuse to take critiques from other people and get mad at other people for trying to help them. So yeah, there's just stuff like that. I feel like a true artist is willing to learn and accept help from others and stuff. But I may be wrong, I don't know, it's just my interpretation of the medium, I guess. Our next question comes from the Undead Unicorn. You said, hi there, maybe you could consider one of my D&D characters. These four are all in adventuring party and know each other. Feel free to pick whoever might interest you. So I picked their last character, which is an orc. I forget what their name is, I'm sorry. You ask... So you have 3 questions here. Your first question is, what would you say is the most misunderstood form of art? For that, I would say maybe cartoons, because a lot of people look at cartoons and think no effort goes into them at all, that they're useless, that they're for babies only, blah 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 blah. And it's really unfortunate that people think this way about cartoons, because a lot of effort gets put into them, and a lot of people are very passionate about cartoons, and not all people make cartoons to be just silly shows for children. A lot of the times people make cartoons because they want to express themselves in this artistic way of being able to abstract characters and make... Just because something is cute, it doesn't mean it's for kids, or just for kids. It could be for anybody, and that's what I think is misleading, misunderstood about art. I would also say maybe modern art, because I myself don't really like modern art. I think that a lot of people scam others using modern art. A lot of modern art is just a bunch of random paint splatters, and then people will go like, well, this is worth thousands of dollars, while people who put lots of effort into their art can barely, like, get attention for it and stuff. I do think there are modern artists who put a lot of effort into what they do, and do actually put meaning into their paint splatters and stuff. But I do think there's other modern artists who put paint splatters and pretend that there's meaning to it when there's really not. Their second question is, if I were to show one of my art pieces to an adult or a child who was seeing anything for the first time, what piece would it be and why? Alternatively, what other art piece artist would I show them and why? So when you said anything for the first time, I'm gonna assume this means anything art-wise? Or anything from my art. So yeah, I'll answer for both ways. For a adult or child who is seeing anything from my art for the first time, I would show them my animations because I'm really proud of my animations, and also my character designs because same thing. It's what I enjoy, and it's what I like about art, and yeah, I like making characters for my stories and stuff. And that's why I'm making a cartoon, because I enjoy animation, and I enjoy making stories, and I enjoy making characters. And I would show, if they haven't seen anything about art at all, or like don't understand art or something, for another artist I would show them would probably be Vincent van Gogh, because he is a really good impressionist. He's my favorite visual artist. Like, that's one of like the big famous ones. He has really beautiful art, colorful, and he's good at interpreting things and symbolism and stuff. So I would basically show them that art doesn't have to... sorry. He also has early art that is realistic and not impressionistic. But so I'd show their art to them to show them that, one, art can be to reflect nature and to redraw what you like about the world, like Vincent's early pieces being realistic and such. But then I'd show them his later pieces, which are impressionistic, and say that they are also, art can also be used to abstract messages and meanings, and just to show how you see the world, or how you feel about the world, stuff like that. Sorry, it's a complicated question, but, that's my answer. I hope, I answered it right. And, you ask unicorns or mermaids, and for that, I say unicorns all the way, because I don't like mermaids. I always thought they were weird, and they are constantly being marketed as a girly girl thing, and I've never been a fan of girly girl stuff. I was always like a tomboy, and princesses and stuff like that I just wasn't interested in. But mermaid, I find it weird that half human, half fish. It's just weird to me. I like the sirens a lot more, where they look like actual monsters rather than like half person, half animal. And the same thing with centaurs and fawns and stuff. They're like half animal, half human. I think it is okay as a concept, but it just doesn't make sense biologically, and if you were to make these creatures, then they should be their own creature, not half one creature and half another creature. That's just my opinion, though. And yeah. So that is all the requests. You may have noticed that I have drawn Morgana and the cat from Luigi's Mansion 3 as well. That was for my friend Plasma Wolf at on Tumblr. They requested me to draw these for them, so I doodled them as well. But yeah, these are the final outcomes. And let me know what you think of this video. Was it informative? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And what other videos would you like to see? Would you like to see more of this? If so, leave comments below and tell me your thoughts and opinions and any more questions or requests that you have for the future. Also let me know what other videos you would like to see from me. Would you like to see tutorials? Would you like to see, me designing characters? Anything, really. Just let me know in the comments below, and that way I can hopefully make videos that you guys enjoy. We do have one more question from Ethgo's Boom and FNAF. And my answer is going to be the same as what they asked before, with the shoulders and how do you draw hair. I would suggest the same thing. Look at how hair works in real life and do sketches of that, and also look at how other people interpret drawing hair, and see, basically just make your own interpretations of how to draw hair, and don't make it spiky. I used to do that. I used to draw hair really spiky. But hair doesn't work like that. It's okay to have, like, anime hair and stuff, but anime hair isn't just spikes, it's curves and fluffs, like how hair actually is. If you want to see examples of what I'm talking about, I drew hair quite a bit in these drawings, and you can see that there are curves and, like, rounded edges, not just spikes and stuff. So yeah, that's the last question of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day. God bless, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.